So you're filling out the IRS Form W4 and you also have independent contractor work or you're self-employed and you're not really sure how to fill this thing out. Now this question comes from Lisa Walker and she's asking, my employer is going from contract workers to being employed and used to give us a 1099. It seems they would have made the transition in January, but they didn't show from January up to today. One is still considered a contract worker until this form is filled in and taxes are being taken out. I am single, head of household with this one job. And again, from January to now was considered a contract worker, but they are now moving over to the W4 form. How do I fill that out? Lisa, that's a great question. And I'm sure a ton of other people have this same question on their minds. Now, the difference here is we're making a transition from self-employment income to the W4, but it's not really a difference. Even if you have self-employment, independent contractor, 1099 income, and a W2. That's the key. If you're filling out the W4, it is for a W2 job. That is it. If you're filling out the W4, the IRS Form W4, W2 job. That's W2 income. So you're technically an employee versus an independent contractor. Very different. But even if you had both at the same time or you had one earlier in the year and now you have a W2 job, guess what? They're exactly the same. The only difference is the dates that you're filling out. So let me go ahead and pull it up on the screen to show you what I'm talking about. So here we look at the IRS Form W4 and I've already gone through the walkthrough, but what you want to do is check your filing status, but then on page 2 with the income and withholdings, scroll to the very bottom. Let me go back up to the top for a sec. Income and withholdings, that's your W2 jobs. So put as many jobs as you have or have had throughout the course of the year. So if you had 5 jobs, but you're no longer employed, you have to put them all in here for this thing to be accurate. So if you have 5 jobs previously, 1 job now, that's 6 jobs. And the only thing you're gonna do is change the date, and the date is right here in the middle. If you don't have this job all year, choose one of the other radio boxes or radio buttons that will work for you, and then you could choose your dates. But if we scroll to the bottom, we could see right here, there's a checkbox for self-employment net income. And why is it net income? Because it's already calculating everything that is included with self-employment, including self-employment taxes. And that's the big difference here. You also have to pay self-employment taxes where you're only having to pay FICA as a W2 employee, basically both sides of FICA, which is your Social Security and Medicare, and Social Security and Medicare for the employer. So you're paying both sides when you are self-employed. That is the difference. This math will actually calculate it for you. So if you're doing it the long way, at the very end, you're gonna see your total tax liability. That includes both federal and the self-employment income. Put them both in here. Now, the reason that it is not on the pay stub is because you're an independent contractor, which is completely different employment than a W2 job, and it will never show up on your pay stub or your W2 that you get at the end of the year. So W2 employment, you fill out the W4 for the withholding, submit it to your employer. That's how they withhold. They do not withhold on self-employment income or in this case for independent contractor work. But the income, self-employed, independent contractor, they're the same. You're paying both sides of FICA, which is the self-employment tax. So that's what you need to understand. That is the only difference. It will not show up. They will not provide that for you. They're just going to tell you the gross amount they have paid to you. It is your responsibility to figure out and pay your own taxes. Big difference. You're basically running your own company. As an independent contractor, you're self-employed. So that's how it works. So that's what you need to know. If you have questions on this, let me know in the comments down below. And if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and leave your comments down at the bottom.